Shmo David, Adonai Roi Lo Echso. Min al Deshe Yabiteni, Yamei Menuchos in Aleini. Nafshi Yishovev, Yancheni B'Magrei Tzedek, L'man Shemo. Gam Ki Eilech B'Geit HaMoves Lo Yirarok, Yato Yimodi. Shivtro Mishantecho Heime Yenachamuni. Arok Ufonai Sucho Neged Zoroi, Shanto Vashem Rosi Kosi Revoyo. Achto V'Chesed Yirufuni Kol Yimei Chayoi. Shafti B'Veis Adonai Yorech Yomim.
Arab Pinchas Eichenstein.
We've all gathered together today to give the Kuvod Achron for our entire Yedid with Yoni. Each and every one of us is shaken up at this great tragedy at this tremendous Unglück that we all just experienced. It's unfathomable. That we should lose such an Adam Chashuv at such a young age. The pain is so great. The Veitig is ad Lev HaShamayim. Chazal tell us that a person's name has a strong influence on his life. In Yonah we find that Yonah's true calling came out while he was hidden inside the dog, hidden from everyone else. That's where his true greatness came out. That's where he realized his true calling. Yoni's true greatness was hidden. He did everything possible that his tremendous ma'asim of chesed, tzedakah, should be hidden. No one was allowed to know about it. No one was allowed to hear or see. Like his true namesake, Yonah Novi, who reached true greatness hidden from everyone else. The Gemara in Eruvin tells us, why is Klal Yisrael compared to a Yonah? Because a Yonah is very devoted to his family. There's a tremendous care and devotion. Yoni was a most amazing husband, father, son, brother, son-in-law, brother-in-law. But as Sfarim HaKadoshim tell us, great people have extended family. And Yoni's family extended way past the immediate family. He included in his family so many people that other people would ignore, that other people didn't care about, that were left by the wayside. Those were the people that Yoni were mechazik and included in his immediate family. There's a different Gemara in Shabbos that says Klal Yisrael is compared to a Yonah, because just like a Yonah, its wings protect itself, so too Klal Yisrael, the mitzvahs of Maisim Tovim, are a schus for Klal Yisrael. Yoni, all your gewaltige Maisim Tovim are definitely going to protect you in Shemayim. But we ask you, the last Rosh Hashanah a few weeks ago, you heard us say in Beis Medrash that when Rosh Hashanah falls out on Shabbos, we're not zoichet to have the Kol HaShofer. But what we are able to have is each and every zakah, each and every cry of a Yid goes up to Shemayim. And the Rebbeinu Shalom hears it. Yoni, go up to Shemayim now. Give a cry for all of us. We've gone through so much the last 6 months, but especially give a cry for your Chosheva family. We're all crying now. And say, Rebbeinu Shloilem, Ha'imar lo'ilumay dai, Yoimar l'tzoriseinu dai, it's schon genig. It's enough. Your Chosheva wife, who was a shutif and all the gewaldige Maisim Tovim, your family, your Tayir Kinder, your parents who were the role models and everything that you accomplished, your Chosheva in-laws, and the entire family, they should have the koyach in this time of tremendous tsar and agmas nefesh to be mechazik each other, and we should be all be zoiche to bila amovas lonetzach umocha Hashem dimam al koponim.
Reb Yitzchok Rukowski.
I'm really not worthy of speaking at such a chashuv alavaya, such a chashuv nifter. But ich kann es aushalten. Yoni, where are you? You didn't give us any warning from one day to the next. It's not like you to just leave us just like that. When David was mekainen on Yonatan, it said, "Tsarli achicha, tsarli achi Yonatan, na'amti li ma'od." He lamented over Yonatan that he was very sweet to him, but we find that the pasuk calls him achi. The question is that we know Yonatan was the son of Shaul HaMelech. He wasn't a brother of David, so why is it that he called him achi? Why did he call him a brother? So the Malbim answers that the relationship between David and Yonatan was not a self-serving relationship. It was a natural relationship. It was a relationship. It was a ruchniistic relationship. A relationship she'eina tluya b'davar. And that's why that relationship was eina b'teila, is everlasting. A relationship with Yoni, a partnership with Yoni, a friendship with Yoni. He was never looking to take anything from the friendship. It was always a question of how much he could give to the friendship. That's all he cared about. He was a friend that he could always trust, always stood with us, shoulder by shoulder, through thick and thin. He was always there, someone you could count on at any time of the day, any hour of the night. He was always there for everybody. The pasuk says that Tzvi Yisrael Abba Mesech Chalal Eich Naflu Gibayrim. Yonah Tzvi Eich Naflu Gibayrim. How is it that you're no longer with us? We know that the pasuk says Ezo Gibar Akevish is Yitzray. A person who's a true Gibar is that person that's able to control his Yetzer. Yonah seemed like a very Pashut Yid, but he really wasn't. He always worked on himself, worked on his midas. I remember when someone came to the office, he asked him for a donation, and he gave him a large donation. So I asked him, why did you give him such a large donation? Isn't it true that you don't really like him that much, if that was possible with Yoni? And he told me, Yitz, you don't understand. That's why I gave him double. I felt I have to give him double. Yoni was a person that constantly was kovish his Yetzer, was always working on himself. Sai ben Adam l'chavere, Sai ben Adam l'mokam. It was always a role model, besides for the friendship that we had. He was a mentor to me, teaching me always ahavas abrius, having courage for other people. It was a tremendous, tremendous mentor for us in the office. It says, "Akol shirach abrius neicha emenu, ruach hamakim neicha emenu." And the Chayvas Alvavis explains that it's not possible for anyone not to have any issues or any small disputes with anyone. And therefore, if you find someone Shurach Abrias Neicha Emenu, you know for sure that it's Ruach HaMokim Neicha Emenu, because it's impossible that a person is going to be liked by everybody. We know that Yoni was so liked by every single person. There's not a person that ever had a bad word to say about him. It's always an honor for me to say that I'm a partner with Yoni. And that's only possible if someone has such a chen. That chen comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives them that chen. You know that Ruach HaMokim Neicha Emenu. The Ruach HaBrias Neicha Emenu comes from the fact that Ruach HaMokim Neicha Emenu. We know that when Nami came to Yerushalayim, we know that it says Chayav Adam Levarach Al Hara Keshem Shem Levarach Al Teva. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to be thankful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the bad, just like he's thankful for the good. I need to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the fact that I was able to have 25 years together with Yoni, 25 years as a shutif, that was always there with us, 25 years, never a taina, never a maina, never a bad word to say, never a shminish of any type of a machlekes. Yoni gets all the credit for that. So at the same time that we mourn this tremendous sorrow, we have to be thankful for the fact that I was zeicha all the years to be a partner with Yoni. We find that when Nami came back to Yerushalayim, she lost her riches, she lost her husband, and she lost her children. And they called her Nami. She told him, Kredali Mara, call me bitter, don't call me Nami. My life is no longer sweet. And we find that bitterness, the outcome was that David HaMelech was born. And from that, you have the Golus, and you have the Geula, and Melech HaMashiach will be born from there. We're hoping that we're mispell that, yes, the time is extremely, extremely bitter. The family is not alone. We're here with you. There's a tzaras rabim. It's not just for the mishpacha. But we hope and we daven that from this tzara, we should be zeichet to takasida geula. Ubal Hashem, as Hamavis Hanetzach, Mocha Hashem Diba Me'al Kompanim.
הרב שלוימי קון.
Ay, Yonah. Ay. Beschlichers, Tati und Mami, soll sie gesund sein. Tati picked up the phone yesterday and I said, Shlomi, we believe in Mashiach and we know Tchias HaMeisim is going to come. And we know there's going to be Tchias HaMeisim. You have to be matzdik the din. Tziduk hadin. Hashem nosan. Hashem lokach. Yehi Shem Hashem mevayrach. It's so many years that we were zeichet to have Yoni. And now, everybody should to come back. Hi. Pasuk and Shir Shirim. Doidi, Yorad Leganoi, Lilkot Shoshanim. Everybody show ya Doidi, Yorad Leganoi, Lilkot Shoshanim, to take the most beautiful and precious. We're living in unbelievable times. Your mamash feel the pasuk. Daidi Yard Leganoi takes the Shoshanim. I was leaving the apartment in Lakewood. On the stender was the Sefer from the Chavetz Chaim, Avas Chesed. That was Yoni's whole life. It wasn't doing Chesed. It was Avas Chesed. He loved Chesed. He lived to be mated to other people. As our hearts. One of my children said, Tati, your Uncle Yoni had the biggest heart in the whole world. I can never understand. Every time he dealt with Yoni, he was so connecting, so in tune, so intuitive, so heartsick. And it just kept getting more and more. How was it shaykh? Because the Alter Rebbe Kalm says there's two different types of people. His mashal was a baker. Someone bakes bread for the city. So sometimes you have a baker that he needs to make parnassos, so he makes bread. But then all he's doing is making bread every day to make a few dollars. Then there's a baker that makes bread because he wants people to have bread. People should have what to eat. He wants to be mated. And every loaf and every day is Nocha Ma'aseh Chesed, Nocha Ma'aseh Chesed. And he becomes a bigger Baal Chesed every day. The Baron Kotler, when he saw them building the escalators from the subway in New York, huge escalators taking millions of people every day up from below street level all the way up to the street level. He said, when he saw the workers building, he said, Ashod, he's only mechaven for his minimum wage, just $5 a day. It's $5 an hour, that's what he's mechaven for. So he blibes garnished. If he would be mechaven for the chesed he's going to do for millions of people. Not to give on our grace of Baal Chesed. Yoni, our God said tongue. He wanted to be mated with everything he did. How can he be mated to this one today? I want to give him a job to be mated to this one. To say a good word, to be mechazik someone. I used to bring in people to give tzedakah. I once apologized. He was so busy and tired. I was like, Yoni, I'm sorry. Shlomi, it's a privilege. Don't be silly. It's a schos. Azad Sanua. Such a Sanua. A real Sanua. You're such a brother. Someone didn't experience being your brother, being your friend. They don't know what it means. A relationship. I finally chabsha on the pasuk. The Torah describes Yisrael Tzaddik, Nazir Echov, abgeteilt von seinem Bruder, separated from his brothers. Now we're Nazir Echov, but we're not. Yisrael Tzaddik wasn't either. Yoni's Yad Yamin, his wife Sarita. Unbelievable storm. The very show should give them a kaya. And the children, Ariella, Moshe, and Shmuley and Talia, Wolfie. Don't be scared. We're about to see how Solomon is looking inside. He used to always say, when he spoke about Leviah, he used to ask the Kasha from the Rishonim, why do we cry? What are we crying? We all believe that the neshama goes up close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Gan Eden, lichtig, beautiful. What are we crying? Why are we crying? Farvos veintmen by Leviah. And he said, Avad Emes, going to Elam Haba is like taking off a coat. The neshama is still there. Just the levush, hachitzain, the chitzain goes off until the tchias hamesim. But the neshama goes closer and closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the lichtige Gan Eden. So why are we crying? And they say the pshat is because of the separation. It's just difficult to be away. But in Hashem we're going to be reunited. The crying is just that we just don't have him here with us to be together and to experience it. But it's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be scared of. And the Rebbeinu Shalom is Avi Yisayim. The Rebbeinu Shalom takes care of every little tiny prat. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu loves us. He was just the Gavin Koyach. The Rebbeinu Shalom should continue to hold us. To the Ganze Mishpacha. Mommy and Tati, and Sarita and all the children, the Ganze Mishpacha, and Yoni's extended Mishpacha, all the Chaveim, everyone that he was so close with, and God's Klai Yisrael needs such Yeshuas. It's almost unbelievable. Bila Hamavas Nenetzah, and Misa should be swallowed up forever. U'macha Hashem Elikim Dimam Yalkol Ponim V'neimar Amen.
Reb Osher Kohn.
Spent a lot of time with Yoni. I'll tell you about our last conversation in the sukkah. He came up with the pshat and Chayv's office. You weren't to share. I think I'm having a hard time sharing it with you. It says, Ach mahus habitochen hi menuchas nefesh habeiteach. The Chayv's office is going into explaining exactly what the mahus, the essence of bitochen is. And I'll just paraphrase what is trust? It is tranquility of soul of the one who trusts. His heart's reliance on the one in whom he trusts to do what is good and right for him in the matter of the trust, according to his ability and knowledge of what is of his good. But what lies at the root of trust and gives rise to it, without which we can neither assure the confidence that one has trust will keep his word and do what he promised. So at the beginning it starts, you only wanted to know, it starts with the motion. You have to have menuchas hanefesh. But then it goes into logic, but then you have to use your logic. So you go back and forth, what is trust, what is not. So you already wanted to say that shot is that your emotion has to propel you. You have to do what's in your tzchuna of your nefesh. Then you use your logic to guide you, to bring you up to the next level, and to keep growing with it. Emotion itself can't sustain. You need to use your seichel and push yourself. This is how you lived. It's your conscious self. Everything you did, you got it. How much involved, and you took it to the next level, the next level. Al Chesed doesn't even come close to describe Yoni. Not one thing, it's a combination of so many midas together. The gevura that came with that in order to be able to control that and to use his logic and to always push it all the way to the limit to make it 100% possible and give it his full effort. Ish kulei tov. Everything he did, he had a good intention. Always wanted to do the best, to be made to taka to every single person he met. A huge makar tov. Yoni would thank you when he did you a favor. Profusely. Yoni would want me to thank you, Ari Shulman, for running out there last night and Simcha and Yisrael, Shkoyach. Thank you for keeping Yoni company. You all the friends that took care of everything. I can't even fathom. I can't fathom without him. Yoni, on behalf of I and myself and all the kids, the family, your Michael, everything. Be a meditation for Sarita and all the kiddies. If you guys have a shmocha, if you need anything, let me know. Oh gosh, I'll come on it.
Yonah T Kohn.
We heard the news last night. Felt a terrible void. Terrible void without Yoni. It says, B'kroivi HaKadosh Hashem. He chooses the Kedoshim. He kedushes the people he's close with to be the Kedoshim. Baruch Hashem, these past 2 weeks, you're with Yoni intimately, with a very small minyan over Simchas Torah, Sukkot, and you literally saw that Yoni was a Kaddish. You saw he was elevated, he was on a different plateau than normal. He was by davening every single morning. I came, he was already standing there by his shtender with his siddur open, his talis was over his head, he had his 2 boys, Moshe and Shmuel standing next to him with their siddurim open. He was davening every single word. He wasn't looking up in the back of the shul. This is what Hashem is taking. There's a very good word from Reb Shach. Reb Shach, there's a bunch of Gemaras that say why the Churban Beis HaMikdash happened. But one of the Gemaras says that the Chachamim, they went to the Chachamim didn't know. And they went to the Nevi'im, and the Nevi'im didn't know why the Churban Beis HaMikdash happened. Until Hashem b'chvoido v'atzmei had to come and reveal the reason. So Reb Shach asked the obvious question. If the Chachamim couldn't figure it out, the Nevi'im couldn't figure it out, so how was Klal Yisrael supposed to figure it out? So Reb Shach had this kasha for many years, and one night he said 2 o'clock in the morning, the teretz came to him, he jumped out of bed and he started to dance. And he said, Vais Techois, every Yid, it says in the Pasuk, Hashem made a person Yashar, but Heim Bikshu Cheshbainis Rabbis. Every Yid knows was is Yashar, was is the Emes, but they have Cheshboinis and they have this and everything's mevalbel them. That was Yoni, one of Yoni's milas. He didn't have 1,000,000 Cheshboinis. He was able to see Glat right away, Yashar, what he had to do. That's when he was matzliach with all of his friends and his business. He was able to cut right to it and say, oh, do like this. There's no sveikis. And that's why he was so matzliach. Yoni was from the Talmidim of Avraham Avinu. He had an eye toiva. He did so much chesed. He saw so much good in people. He was a ruach nemucha. He was always in the back, ba'atzne aleches. And he was a nefesh shmeil. He didn't need anything fancy. He didn't even understand. He was doing something fancy. He didn't even want it. Like he didn't understand the geschmack. He also had another mile from Rabbi Minu. He's Emor Ma'at Vasei Arbei. He barely ever said. As soon as he said he was going to do something, it was done. There was nothing to talk about. He couldn't schmooze for hours about it. Get to the point. He got it straight. He got it done. His kibbut aveim was extraordinary. Just the night before he was nifter, my parents were always staying at my bungalow in South Haven. He came by. He was going to see them the next day. He came by to say goodbye. Sacha, we are Manta. I came to say goodbye. He did everything. Always worried, Sacha, I have to make a path for Ta over here this way because Ta can't walk on these bricks. They're a little bit unsturdy. He was always worrying about kibbut aveim. He was a gewaldig and medaktik with mitzvahs. Just a week or two ago, I was sitting with him. He used to sit 3-4 hours picking out a sreigim for the family. Yoni sat there. He had the best eye. And then and this is classic Yoni. And then when you come after everybody's, all the 10 sreigim brother, and everybody's picking their ass sreigim. Yoni knew, take the first pick. No. They're all beautiful. Just send one, whatever you want, whatever you have left over, send over to my house. He had unbelievable chashivas for Gedolim. Whenever he used to run there, just felt to be by Gedolim, hear what their ages were, and he listened to them, even at a high price, a high cost. Not just monetarily, it was no gale personally for him, different things. He listened to whatever they told him. Mamish b'mesiras nefesh. L'maisa, the Gemara brings that when Rav was nifter, all the Talmidim took upon themselves different Kabbalahs that Rav used to do, even though they weren't on the Madrega. And sometimes keeping up these Kabbalahs almost brought the Sakonis Nefashis, but the Talmidim felt they had to do it. So all the Mefarshim ask, why? If they're not Rav, what are they trying to do? So I was thinking maybe you could say a pshat that when you're trying to fill a void, when there's a nifter, what are you filling all the ruchnis that he was filling up the world with? So how can you expect Hashem to bring a nechama if we're not going to try to emulate his milas, his good attributes? Yoni, I have to ask you, Mechila, because I was your younger brother and you're always mechabri more than yourself, and I was really mechuyev al skavedes. Please be a Melech Yosher for all of us. For Sarita, for the children, for Manta, for your in-laws, for the ganze Mishpacha, for the ganze Klal Yisrael. We should be zoichet to see Mashiach Tzidkeinu. Don't stop, Yoni. Go to the Kitzi HaKavod and beg. Please, now it's not time for Emor Ma'at. Now it's time for Emor Arbei.
Yonah T Kohn.
I just want to ask Yoni Mechila, everything he did for us and the family. Yoni, please be a Melech Yosher for the whole family.
Yonah T Kohn.
There's so many things I could say about my father, all the good, everything, and my father had so many miles, but there's one thing that comes into mind specifically, that my father was a person who would go to any length, who would take his shirt off his back for anyone, anyway, anywhere, anyway. Well, one time my father was already in bed. He was done his day, and he got a call. It was a family that needed help in getting somewhere because their son was in an accident. They need to get there right away. My father could have just said, "Get next flight. Don't bother me. Go get someone else. Go tomorrow. You don't need me." But my father said, "Okay, fine." Got out of bed, got dressed, and got them there. That was the epitome of chesed. My father was the epitome of chesed. Tati, I want to ask you, Mechila, if we ever slighted you. Tati, please be Meilitz Yasher for Mami, me, Ariella, Shmuel, Tali, and Wolfie. Ubala hamaves l'netzach umacha Hashem dima me'al kol panim.
Heshi Onge Kel Mole.
Ein Mole Rachamim, Shoichaim Bameroimim. Am Zaymanich und Nechoinu, Hakam Fayashchenu, Bemales Kedosh mit Oirem, Kezoya Vedikim Azirem. Es Nishmas, Yonah Tzvi, Ben Yosef Chaim Aluz Rakoyen, Shulach Loilumoi. Ba, Vishanachtem Espallen, Ba, das Kudas Nishmusoi. Ligan Eiden Taimen Nichusoi. Lechaim Ba, Lorachmi Astirai, Besaise Knuf auf Loilumem. Yitzroi Betzroi, Lechaim Es Nishmusoi. Adoi Nohi Nachalusoi. Vyuniach Beshuloi Mar Mishkovoi, V'noi Marumain.
Those who want to Malavid the Mace, follow the Oren till Tui. The Levaya Newark will be at 3:15. For more Zoom information, follow ChicagoFunerals.com. Will be updated information.